Thank you for tuning in to Redeeming Time. I appreciate you turning on our broadcast and watching. I hope it's an encouragement to you. I hope you receive a blessing. We're on at 2 a.m., at 7 a.m., and 11 p.m. So I hope you're able to watch it. Today's broadcast is being dedicated to Ben Bartlett. Now, Ben Bartlett, to some of you, may know who Ben Bartlett's parents are. That's Dave and Connie Bartlett. Dave's brother is Alan Bartlett, who lives here in Gray. And Dave and Connie both used to live here in Gray. Well, they have a son. His name is Ben. Ben was injured in Iraq on August the 9th. An explosion had taken away a finger on one of his hands. It caused him to lose his left eye, and that was on August the 9th. He is presently recovering, as the report that I have, that he is doing well. So to Ben and to those who are with you and others around you, we want you to know that we are thinking about you today, and we dedicate this broadcast to you as well as to those fellow soldiers who are serving with you. We appreciate you. We appreciate the sacrifice that you have given, the sacrifice you've given on behalf of we, the Americans, and our country. Thank you for serving. Thank you for serving the Lord. Our prayer for you is that you'll heal up speedily and God will meet every need of your heart, and physically and spiritually, and take care of you. Which brings me to a story that was told by Kay Arthur. Kay Arthur was traveling in Old Jerusalem. And she said as she was traveling with a group in Old Jerusalem, she was going through an area and she saw a group of beggars that were meeting together and talking and carrying on a conversation. And then a tourist came by, and as soon as they saw the tourist, they stopped their conversation. And one man in particular, he stopped his conversation and he turned to the tourist and he lifted up his pant leg to show the boils and the sores and the things that were wrong with his leg, in hopes to get some sympathy and also to get some money from the individual who went by. Well, Kay Arthur apparently has a nurse's background, and she could see from afar the condition of the leg, and she thought, this is terrible. Why, if that was not cleaned and taken care of, he could eventually lose his leg. And so as she went closer, she was going to examine it, and she wanted to prevent the dust from getting on there and infecting the leg any worse than it was. And she wanted to do all that she could to help this fellow. And as she went over towards the person as if to try to help, the tour guide grabbed her by the arm and led her away and told her, he says, no, that man really doesn't want to be healed. He's quite content to do what he does. He doesn't want to have to go to work. He doesn't want the responsibilities that come with being healthy. He would just as soon be there begging for money. The truth is, the tour guide said, was that if this man had wanted to be taken care of, there was medical care there available for him, free. He could be taken care of, and his wound could be taken care of, but the man really did not want to be healed. Can you imagine somebody who really didn't want to be healed? In the scripture, we find somebody here who really did want to be healed, and it was in the book of Luke, and it's chapter 8, and it's talking about a woman. This woman had gone to all the doctors that she could go to. Let me read this account for you. It's in the book of Luke. It's in chapter 8, and it's in verse 43 on. It says, a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, who had spent all of her living upon physicians, neither could be healed by any, came behind him, talking about Jesus, and touched the border of his garment. Immediately her issue of blood stopped. And Jesus said, who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude crowd thee and press thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? Jesus said, somebody touched me, for I perceive that the power is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hidden, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee well. Go in peace. Now here's a woman who had a health problem, and she'd gone to all the doctors and all the physicians that she could. She spent all of her resources and all of her money to try to get help, to try to get healing. She wanted to be healed, and all the other resources all failed. Nothing seemed to work. So, her last resort, she heard that Jesus was coming by. And in her heart, she believed that she could just touch the hem of his garment, that she could be healed. She had the opportunity. She touched the hem of her garment, and by faith, she touched the hem of her garment, and she was immediately healed. And the Lord touched touched her, and the power went out, and she was healed and restored to health. And the Lord said, who did it? He knew who did it. Why did he say that? He wanted her to confess. He wanted her to tell others what he had done for her, and how he had touched her, and how he had healed her. That little saying there, somebody touched me. There's a chorus that we sing. Did somebody touch me? It was on a Sunday, somebody touched me. It was on a Sunday, somebody touched me. Must have been the hand of the Lord. Somebody touched me. And when the Lord touches us, and he heals us, he wants us to tell others about it. We, when we come to him, can find the healing that you can't get in the world. They tried everything else, but the last resort, they tried Jesus. Isn't that so much like our human character? Why is it? We'll try everything else there is to try, and when all else has failed, then we'll look to the Lord. But the good news is, when we look to him, he'll be there. Even though we may have waited until he was the last one, he'll be there for you and me. The question for us is, do we want to be healed? If we want to be healed spiritually, we can come to him and he will heal us. My prayer for each and every one of you, my prayer for Ben, my prayer for the folks here in Gray and in New Gloucester, for Ben's family, is that God will bless each and every one here according to your need and according to his wisdom and knowledge. He alone knows what we have need of. And always remember this, to cast all your care upon him, because he cares for you.